Hey everybody, Jennifer Strickland here, the host of the I Am a Woman podcast. Welcome back. We're going to have a great episode in store for you today. But first, I've got a big announcement for you. My new book, I Am a Woman, Taking Back Our Name, is now available. So we're going to play the trailer for you real quick and you'll find out how to order it.
First one or two times a word is in the Bible, it's his definition for the rest of Scripture. Woman was created to bring life.
This is about all the other girls on the court. They also deserve fairness. There's nothing fair about playing against people born of the opposite sex who are twice one size. There's nothing fair about getting beat up on a basketball court where the referees live in fear of trans activists.
Our body! Our body! Our body! Abortion is my right!
You didn't realize that radical feminists would destroy the meaning of gender, did you? Take a look around. They taught girls that babies are unimportant, that we don't need men, and women should leave the home rather than focus on it. They ignore the fact that 98% of sex offenders are male and push laws that allow men in women's locker rooms, bathrooms, sports, and prisons. It's time to end radical feminism that doesn't really protect women and girls.
You know, the feminist movement created these mantras about womanhood that really aren't true. That women aren't created to bring life, that we don't need men, or children are a problem, or, taking care of your home is some kind of a ball and chain.
That's why I wrote I Am a Woman. This book came from a very deep place inside of me. Like you, I wanted to be a better wife, mother, daughter, sister, and friend. So I went back to Genesis, to the very beginning. And I discovered that woman's name means life. She's a life giver, a spiritual guardian, an advocate, and a challenger who uses her voice to stand up against injustice. I found out that the woman who rides the beast in Revelation is abusing her platform to demonize the conversation about womanhood. And I also discovered that at the crossroads, a wise woman takes her stand. To be a woman is an action. It is a calling and a purpose. When you read this book, you will be proud to be a woman, and you will honor the men and children at your side. You will find the gold inside the words female, mother, wife, sister, daughter, and you will be able to answer the what is a woman question with love and compassion. It is only when we understand the unity of the words male and female that we remove the evil that is trying to steal the heritage of our sons and daughters. Get my book today on Amazon.com or click below to order your copy today.
Hey everybody, welcome to the I Am a Woman podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Strickland, and I have a very special guest on the show, Kevin Sorbo. He has been speaking up in light of Father's Day about the importance of fathers in our culture. He's hoping to remind everyone that pride must be overlooked while we intentionally focus our energy on recognizing that fathers are essential and appreciated. He highlights this concept beautifully in his new children's book titled The Bear Essentials of Fatherhood. He is an actor, producer, director, and author, and he was famous, you may remember, in the 90s #1 worldwide hit TV series Hercules, The Legendary Journeys. He has also been canceled by Hollywood, and he is going to be telling us what it has been like to stick his neck out for future generations. And before I invite Kevin on the show, I just want to give everybody a shout out and thank you so much for ordering my new book, I Am a Woman, Taking Back Our Name. We hit #1 on the Amazon charts on launch day, and we are still climbing. We want all of you guys to go to Amazon.com to order the book today. And listen, it's a great read for men and women, pastors, leaders, young women. And I know most men probably don't want to read a book called I Am a Woman, but then again, they want to be with women. So don't they want to learn more about us? So definitely encourage your entire family to read this book so that we can stand up against the gender bending culture's lies in this generation. Okay, here we go to my amazing conversation with Kevin Sorbo. Well, Kevin, I am so excited to have you on the I Am a Woman podcast. Wait a minute. I think that Kevin is the first man to actually come on the show. So welcome to the show, Kevin.
Yeah, I thought you might be, you thought that I might be confused about my gender, but I am not. So I have no problem.
I love it. I know that we just had Father's Day just a couple of days ago, and I wanted to give you an opportunity to speak a word into my audience about what it means to be a father.
He needs to be the protector, he needs to be the provider, he needs to be the expression of love, playfulness, attentive, do the things that, that fathers have done through generations, and we're changing these things now. There's been emasculation of men through the last couple of decades. And, I think it really started back in the 60s when Hollywood just started changing the way they did movies. And if you look at sitcoms through the 70s up to present, they've always made men just sort of like they're the chunky, out of shape kind of sitcoms. The mom's a babe, the teenage kids use dad as a pincushion and make fun of him. And I just got tired of it. And I said, this is just ridiculous. It's tearing apart of the family. And that's exactly what we're doing right now. And, you need the mom, you need the mother, you need them both. They have a lot of things in common, but a lot of things that aren't in that have different functions within the family unit. And they both blend such an amazingly well together. Look, it's weird what's happening in our world right now. If you look at like Biden supporters out there, I read that there's only 19% of Biden supporters believe in marriage and having children. Only 19%.
Wow, that is a staggeringly low statistic.
It's unbelievable. And I'm actually kind of fine with Democrats not having kids, because they're just going to have, to trans them. They're going to make them the mini socialists out there anyway. And you got 59% of Trump supporters that they believe in family values. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of weird right now that what we were biologically intended to be is now a political issue and is under an issue that gets under attack. It's very strange to me. Then you got 90% of Biden supporters that also think abortion should be legal in all or at least most cases, which blows my mind. And this is the battle we're fighting right now. I mean, every election period, I know I'm kind of going off that little tangent here. Every election period, the top two things that Democrats want, always one of those two things is always the legalization of abortion. It's the murder of human life, but we've made it so normal through movies, television, government, Hollywood, all this kind of stuff now for decades now has been just brainwashing these kids over and over again, that saying getting pregnant is no big deal.
And yeah, it's so sad. Yeah, it really is. A lot of my work.
This is the battle we got right now.
It really is. And a lot of my work has been with girls, college age girls, and the impact on these girls on college campuses is just awful. I mean, and a lot of times when they go and get an antidepressant, they don't ask them, did they have a previous abortion? If they start struggling with bulimia, eating disorders, anxiety, they just give them pills instead of saying, what is the history behind how you're really feeling? And so we really have a traumatized generation of mothers and fathers, and now young people who believe the lies of what I think is the feminist movement that really back in the 60s and 70s started this. But I want to talk to you more about what you're talking about, Hollywood. I was a former model. I lived in Hollywood. I know that business very well. Talk to me more about what you started seeing in Hollywood that was emasculating men.
Well, I just look in the scripts I was getting. I mean, it's, I moved out there after college in 1986, and just the stuff that I was seeing in terms of the roles that were coming in accelerating roles, where they're always just like really just almost feminizing men. And I just said, I want to play a guy that's a hero. I want to play a guy that's a good guy. I want to play a guy that's a strong human being. And you go, well, as an actor, you got to do this and that. I said, no, you don't. You don't have to. There's no reason that you have to do that. I grew up watching. Look, my role models growing up. I watched these old movies with my mom. It was Cary Grant. It was Spencer Tracy. It was who am I thinking of right now? Jimmy Stewart. Guys like that. There was a vulnerability to some of them, but at the same time, there was just a hero mode about them. John Wayne. I mean, to me, those are the kind of guys that I saw them be. Paul Newman, Robert Redford. Those are the guys that I followed. Really, Paul Newman more than anybody was the guy that I sort of, as I was old enough to sort of know he was, because he was a more current guy when I was a little kid. That was just like, he was huge for me. The reason why I wanted to be an actor, and those are the roles I wanted to get involved with. So I turned down a lot of roles that I thought were like, not interested in playing that kind of person. And my agent would always kind of fight me on it, but I said, you guys are wasting your time. I'm not going to go in a read for that. And thank God my first big break was Hercules, right? Hercules is a pretty masculine guy. So for me, it was a lot of fun to be part of that. But
Yeah, good for you for taking a stand, right? Because
I just got tired of it. Look, Hollywood booted me out 10 years ago. Honestly, they booted me out. My manager and agent of many decades said we can't work there anymore because of the things you're posting. I go, oh, you mean I'm posting the truth on Facebook? You don't like that? So they booted me, said, well, the winds of change are here and Hollywood is starting to kind of shift around to a different way of thinking. And we all sure know that. Look at Disney. And people reacted to Disney by not going to the movies anymore. And Disney lost $1.4 billion last year. So I applaud those people that finally stood up, because the lions need to wake up. The sheep are going to be the sheep. Government's favorite weapon is fear. So we got to just not be afraid of speaking up for ourselves, because it's crazy what we're doing in this country, let alone what we're doing in the world.
that's such an incredible point. Let's talk about Disney. I know that you have written a book, right, with Brave Books.
Hmm.
Why did you do that? And what were you seeing that Disney was teaching the kids that you felt like, okay, I don't care about Hollywood. You and I are a little bit similar. I don't care about Hollywood. For me, I decided to follow Jesus, and then that's the rest of the story, right? But for you to stick your neck out there and to speak the truth about what's happening to the kids, what is the message that Disney is sending to take young boys, for example?
Well, they want to break up the family unit. They want total control of your life while relying with our governments. They want cradle to grave responsibility for you. They don't believe that the family unit is important. They're going to push their trans policy and the gay policy. I don't care if people pick those things in their life when they're old enough to make that decision. I don't like the fact that we're telling 5- and 6-year-old kids, just because my two boys are 6'5" and 6'4", masculine, tough, they're men. And they were little kids. They throw on my mom's, like her dress or something around. I didn't look at them and say, do you want to cut your penis off now? Because you're seeing what's happening with these transgenders when they hit 20, 25, 30 years old. They're coming back going, Mom, I was 5. What were you thinking? Highest suicide rate out there among anybody's population, either straight or gay or not. It's the highest suicide rate out there. And there's a reason for that. People, I mean, we got to stop confusing our kids. And, I started getting very vocal. Kirk Cameron's a good friend of mine. He was part of Brave Books family. Well, they saw what I was doing, and Kirk said, well, maybe bring Kevin in here too. And so I've been working with him over a year now. This is my second book that just came out. And here it is. It's The Bear Essentials of Fatherhood. Because you just mentioned Father's Day, right?
I love it.
We give our fathers one day. We give our mothers one day. We give our vets one day. But we give Pride a month? Pride a month? I mean, give them a day. I'm fine with that. But to give that smallest percentage of the population a month makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it really, the whole Pride movement, it's teaching children that their identity is their sexuality, and we just don't believe that around here on the I'm a Woman podcast, because I've never taught girls that their identity is their sexuality. Talk about that and what impact that is having on the kids of our nation.
Well, we're confusing them. We're confused. Look, there was a guy put out a video. It's fantastic. I downloaded it because it was so great. He sits at a table. He's got a little white table. It's like a school desk type thing. He's got a chair on both sides. He lets one kid in at a time. They're all like 6 or 7 years old. He's got a $5,000 and $100 bill stacked right here. He's got 2 Oreo cookies over here. Every kid picked the Oreo cookies. They said you can have one or the other. You can't have both. because their little brains, they're not looking at $5,000 going, wow, I could buy a lot of cookies with $5,000, because they're not wired that way yet. They're little kids. Let kids be kids. Actually, my first book with Brave Books was The Test of Linehood. And it's about let kids be kids and grow up to be strong individuals as they mature. Instead of this constant going after them, please go to bravebooks.com, see what they're doing. They do great books for 4 to 11-year-olds. And it's really about just has good moral values. It's not bashing anybody. It's not anti this or anti that. It's just letting kids be kids and have good stories about good values. And that's what we need to do. And that's what I'm going to fight back and keep doing that, because Hollywood is not going to just die down with that yet, which is weird to me. I don't understand why they're going down this road, why they want to push this agenda. And unfortunately, the conspiracy theorist inside of me thinks that our tax dollars are probably being funding right back into Disney to keep on pushing their agenda. Say, don't worry if you lose money, we'll make sure we keep you afloat. I mean, we have no idea in this age, even though we have so much with internet and all these different things we have right now and instant, information. I think we still have no idea how bad, how corrupt our government truly is.
Oh, I think that's absolutely right. I mean, this is a top-down movement. I talk about this in my new book, I Am a Woman. This is top-down. It comes from the government down. The money is coming from China. It's funneling through the Biden administration, and it's pouring into the colleges, where every college campus in America, they have pages on their website, and they're teaching them this agenda that there are hundreds of gender and sexual identities. What do you think is the impact of teaching young boys their sexuality is their identity? What is identity to you, Kevin?
Well, these new current stars that are walking on the red carpet in their 20s, they're trying to play, sometimes tough guys in certain movies out there, but then they walk the red carpet wearing dresses. I mean, it's just weird to me. I mean, once again, the power is within Washington, D.C. and Los Angeles, but they live in their own little bubbles. Everybody on either side of that continent, we're just flyover states to them. And parents need to wake up. Parents need to fight back. This ridiculousness of transgenders racing against women in all sports, whether it's baseball, softball, track, swimming, whatever it may be. This is insane, and parents need to buck up and not be afraid to fight back on this issue. And I think more and more are finally starting to do it. But the whole idea about the book, this whole idea about this book is really to show the importance of family, the importance of fathers in the family. And that's why I'm putting a spotlight on that right now in this month of June, where you got, Father's Day that we just had. But this is really to fight back, to get the families back together, the unit that they should be. It should be as simple as that to get things together. This is crazy, crazy, crazy indoctrination. Starts with the public edge of schools. It's going now, if you look at the last 30 years, the majority of people under 30 years of old, the majority believe communism is a good thing. Why do they think that? We have brainwashed these kids. Even Bill Maher came out and said, do not send your kids to American universities. Think about that.
Yeah.
And Bill Maher's a liberal. He said, do not send your kids to American universities.
Wow.
So stop it. Stop wasting your money. I did a movie last year, and I had this young girl, had 2 scenes with me in the movie. She played a waitress. And one of the scenes, I go into this diner. One of the breaks, I said, what are you majoring on college right now? She said gender studies.
Oh,
and
no.
I laughed because I thought she was joking. I said, oh, you're serious? Gender studies? I could have saved your parents $200,000. Male, female. You've just got your diploma. Carry on.
Well, and they're going to graduate not knowing how to define the word woman. They're going to graduate believing that a man, when he puts on a dress, the Miss Maryland pageant that they just had, that
oh my gosh, I know.
a dude is Miss Maryland, and all the women are standing around applauding like a bunch of weak, subservient beings. And I'm like, we need to model. I'm with you. I believe that this happened on our watch, Kevin. I believe that we are the mothers, we are the fathers of this nation, and it takes us taking a stand first so the kids will follow.
Well, we need to get rid of public education, period. One of the blessings of COVID is 2 million more families looked at how horrible the public school system is and how bad our school boards are, and they pulled their kids out. 2 million more families are now homeschooling. My wife's a homeschool advocate. She travels the country doing she got her own show on Patriot.tv, which is General Mike Flynn's show, and she spouts this all the time. Take these kids out of public schools. We need to wake up. Anything the government runs, they ruin. They ruin. Ronald Reagan's one of my favorite quotes from President Reagan is he said, "These are the greatest words to fear. Hi, I'm from the government, and I'm here to help."
Wow, wow. You know, you're one of the few spokespeople that I have talked to that has used the word brainwashing the way that I use. I did a whole study on thought reform and mind control as used by Mao Zedong in China.
Ah,
When you,
got it.
s- yeah, yeah, and actually, all 8 criteria for thought reform and mind control, according to Lifton's criteria, are being used right now by
Mhm.
the trans nation agenda. Um, Talk to me about that. What can parents do when the schools, TikTok, Instagram, everywhere they turn, they're seeing pride flags that are telling them the opposite of what the parents' message is trying to be?
Be parents. You're not there to be their best friend. You're there to be their parents. So let them grow up to be strong individuals, not strong brainwashed people. You brought up Mao. Well, let's talk about Lenin, the Bolshevik Revolution in 1917 in Russia. He said the most important way to control the population is through education. And that's what he did. And there you go. So really, it comes down to that. It's as simple as that. But people are looking for, different reasons to fight back, and they're not fighting back at all. And we need people just to stop being afraid. That, the only thing you're supposed to fear is God. It's in the Bible. Check it out. It's in Proverbs. And but people need to stop being afraid. And fear is a great weapon. You saw it during COVID. Shut down everything. Churches not essential. Our government, founded on Judeo-Christian values, our constitution based on that, our laws based on the Bible, okay? They are now taking God out of school. They took it out in 1964. They took the Bible out of school. It's been going downhill since, but it's just accelerated over the last 15 to 20 years. And
That's exactly
people need
right.
to wake the heck up.
It's true. And one of the things that people don't know about thought reform is that one of the criteria is dispensation of existence, which is
Mm.
basically cancel culture. In
Yeah.
other words, if you stand up and you use your voice, we will dispense of
Yeah.
you, right? And that's happened to you in Hollywood.
Sure.
That's happened to me in relationships where I have refused to use the wrong pronouns in certain
I know.
relationships. I'm
It's,
not doing it, people. I won't
no.
do it because it's lying to kids. Okay, tell me more. We want everybody to go to Brave Books. They have a subscription program for
Yeah.
parents, right? Okay, talk about that.
Well, just everything's in bravebooks.com. Just go to bravebooks.com. Also follow my wife and I at sorbostudios.com. A lot of information on there as well as bravebooks.com is also listed on sorbostudios.com. But they have the courage, and they have, the right attitude about going after what kids need to be taught and be understood. And we need to just not be afraid. We got to keep fighting back. I said, I'm going to say it over and over again. They have nothing but anger. They have so much hate and anger. I don't have anger for someone that has a different point of view than me. I'm happy to have a debate. Just because they yell louder sometimes or most of the time doesn't make them right. But that's what all they have is their anger and their little catchphrases. Oh, you're a Nazi, you're a homophobe. I've been in the business 40 years. I work with gay people on almost every movie set and TV set I've been on. You won't find one gay person that say, my gosh, he was horrible to me. He made fun of me so much, he hurt my feelings. You won't find one. You won't find, I treat everybody the same. I love being on the set. I love the creative process on both sides of the camera. And yet what you get from them is anger and hate and violence. I post on Twitter and I'll have that 5% of the 2 million people who follow me just wait for me to pounce on me. What kind of life is that they follow? I'm flattered they want to follow me, but their hate directed towards me is really directed towards themselves. It doesn't affect my lifestyle. I'm not them. I don't have to look in the mirror every day that they have to look in it because they hate what they see. I
Mm.
look in the mirror and I'm a happy guy and I'm ready to go and get out to the world and start doing good things again. These people don't do good things. And I bet you most of them are unemployed. I bet most of them had horrible families. They probably had a lot of sexual or drug abuse somewhere in the family. And these people, I think there's a common denominator with all these people that just all they do is look to be filled with hate and anger. It's a horrible way to go through life. And I feel sorry for these people.
It's really true. And people who are threatened by the truth are being brainwashed. That is just the truth.
No,
Okay.
they're changing the truth. They're rewriting truth. They're rewriting history. They're tearing our statues down. They're tearing our history
Oh
down.
yeah.
You've got Ivy League students that want to take these plaques that have God on there, on these buildings that have been built back in the 1700s. They want to rip these things off and get rid of them.
Yeah.
What I want to do, if I could do it, I would love our tax dollars and take these tens of millions of people and move them to the utopia they want. Move them to North Korea, Venezuela, Russia, and the Middle East. Let's see how much they really love that lifestyle compared to what America used to be and still has. But we're taking all our freedoms away, and they're doing it more and more, and our government's doing it.
Yeah.
Look at the FBI. Look at our current government in office, the things that they're doing to control and destroy people's lives. And you mentioned earlier, there's people that do attack us. Who are these people? Because I want to meet them. Because obviously, this cancel culture world that they live in, they must be perfect human beings. They need to talk to you and I to be better human beings like they are. And where are they? Yes, I'm dripping with sarcasm as I say this, but it's just, I don't know, it's crazy what we're doing.
Well, talk to me as we close the show. What does a healthy male in our culture look like right now, Kevin?
A healthy one that believes in, well, hopefully, if they don't believe in God, that's fine. I've got atheist friends. I wish they did believe in God, but they're strong human beings. They're strong men. They're strong family men. They're good people, whether agnostic or atheist. I think having God in your life and believing that there is a supreme being out there, an intelligent design out there, which you and I certainly believe in. I look at the stars and go, well, you can't get something out of nothing, guys. Something had to start this. But I'm looking for people that want to be, there for their kids, there for their parents, to keep a strong family unit going. Because it's pretty obvious that when you have that kind of thing going on in your life, you have a much more prosperous and a much more healthier life.
It's so true. And I so agree with you that we need to speak identity into young boys and men right now, that they are the protectors, they are the providers, and they're warriors. They're supposed to lay down our lives to protect us. And so many are just standing on the sidelines applauding these transgender track stars or
And
pageant winners.
why? Look, my second son, Shane, his name is Håkon. I'm Norwegian. I'm second generation from Norway, and my Håkon is Norwegian for warrior. And I want him to have that name because he's a strong kid, as all my three of my children are. But, it's just,
I
wake
agree.
up, world, wake up. Don't let anyone set your limitations, especially yourself.
I so agree with you. You guys, everybody out there listening today, wake up. We are going to have to be a strong wall of unity to protect the kids. And it's particularly right now to protect the girls. And that is the male's role. The male, like Christ, is to lay down his life to protect us. So, Kevin, I cannot thank you enough for being on the show today, for sharing that. Share some last words with my audience, and then let them know again about your book, The Bear Essentials of Fatherhood.
The Bear Essentials of Father. There it is right there. The Bear Essentials of Father. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful story. It's a great positive way for kids to know that what the importance of dads are. And it's a great way for dads to remind them how important it is that they should be part of their kids' lives. You know what? I'm going to say it again. Don't let fear rule your life. I mean, I say all the time, one of my favorite poets is Mr. Frost. He wrote a very famous poem called The Road Less Traveled. And I'll say Jesus was certainly the one who was the first man to walk the road less traveled. Let's turn the road less traveled into a superhighway.
I love it. Thank you so much. Everybody can connect with you on Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah, Instagram, Twitter is @ksorbs. I post sarcastic truth. So please check me out there. Also, if you go to sorbostudios.com, is a great place to go.
Okay, sounds great, Kevin. Thank you so much for being on the show. And everybody go out there and get Kevin's book by Brave Books, The Bear Essentials of Fatherhood, and sign up. You can get new books coming to your house every single month. And we want to support companies like Brave right now. All the links are in the show notes. Thanks so much, Kevin.